a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is GailofGaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And today, I have my special guest frequently, Michelle Marie, but she's going to talk to us today about the hurricane because she lived through it. So let me bring her on. Welcome, Michelle. I'm so happy that you're back looking like you always do, and everything's good, and you made it through Milton.
I lived through it. It was exhausting, but I lived through it.
Tell us about it. Was it frightening? Was it intense? What? I mean, I'm sure it was, but tell me about your experiences.
Okay. Well, do you want to read the description, and then I have some.
Yes, I will.
I can talk about.
Okay, I'll do that. I spaced that one out.
Anyway,
we will be discussing today Michelle Marie's firsthand experience of going through the eye of the hurricane as Milton passes through Sarasota, Florida. With much prayer, meditation, and group intention and energy work, Milton bit the dust and was mitigated as it lost its power, just like the powers that were or thought they were. With divine intervention and light warriors, StarSeeds, and light workers consciously cooperated to change the energy field, the power of the storm decreased. Was there foul play? We will discuss that too. A lot is being revealed at this time. So that's where we're coming from, basically. And we certainly are interested. I know I have some of the pictures you sent me. We can show them too. But
good, because I don't really have those queued up. Do you want to show a few pictures? Let me give you a little play-by-play, and then because that's the aftermath, we'll try to do things in order here as much as possible.
Exactly. So let me find that while you're doing that.
Okay. I'll get the little play-by-play going here, which is the. All right, there we go. Am I sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me bring that up.
So I just thought I'd start with Monday morning. I had heard of the hurricane. I don't watch the news that much, so I never hear it until the last minute. And so, okay, I heard there's a hurricane. So I thought, well, I'll just top the tank off with gas. So I went to 3 gas stations, and there was no gas anywhere. They had those little plastic things over the pumps, and it said out of order. And I thought, that's weird. It's only Monday. The hurricane's not supposed to come till Wednesday. But that's what it said. And I thought, well, I'll just, go on about my business and, do more stuff to get ready. So I did do that. And let's see what happened here. Oops. All right. So the next thing that happened here, let me see here. It's really pretty quick, I thought. So then I went to the store and I bought about $200 worth of water and food. I got lots of fun snacks and healthy food. And I made sure to get food that didn't need to have refrigeration or cooking for, ultimately the power always goes out, which it did. So I want to have stuff ready for that. And it could be days. I think for Ian, we were out for 4 or 5 days, no power for 4 or 5 days. So I got my oil lamps down. I got my flashlights out. I got my candles and lighters out. Everybody was doing stuff like that. And so, interestingly, people were being told that, this is like, the hurricane of the century. And, so people that do meditation and stuff, there are a lot of people, I believe, around the world. I had people calling and friends saying, we're praying for you. And so at 7:00 in the evening, I did a group meditation, and my friend Glenn led it from the higher realm. And the higher realm is a little community that I belong to. And we often do spiritual work and meditations. And, we have a wonderful medium from Scotland, Natalie, and she does channel services and mediumship work every Sunday. And we have a really nice tribe or family of friends, and we meet in these higher vibrational spaces. So anyway, we did this really deep group meditation against Milton, and we just used our spiritual light work powers with Glenn leading our beautiful meditation, in a very kind and loving way of using our light. It was all higher vibrational light, a group meditation, the power of group consciousness. And I know that these intentions were shared with people around the world. So we had these clusters of groups, and we also had, many different groups doing these meditations. And so we had a huge morphogenic field built up by all these people, sharing intentions, and it was very, very powerful. And it positively had an effect. There's no doubt about it. So after that, oh my goodness. So we hear about this thing is going crazy on mainstream media. There was super hyped up. The fear factor was off the charts, and worst hurricane in 100 years. And so, I don't watch TV, but I talk to people that do. And so, it was super, super hyped up. Did you get that? Did anybody else get that? Where it was hyped up and everything? Like around the world in the media?
I thought it was hyped up, yes.
Yeah.
It's gone through Helene, and it was the devastation from that was horrific. And so it's like they were preparing
That was the thing
for more of the same.
People were seeing the pictures of North Carolina and stuff happening there, and the floods and, the major devastation. And of course they see these, pictures, and then they say this one's going to be on, the worst one in 100 years. And, so major hype going on. And so, things just kept happening. And then because people from out of state and even out of the country, family and friends, they were watching the news and everything, and we were trying to get ready. We were packing up our stuff because we were going to go find a safe place. And so because of the fear factor, people were getting valuables, important papers, trying to focus on what's absolutely needed and packing those up in bags and in suitcases and so forth. And then, making plans and changing plans and everything like that. So my mom and I, who I was in touch with the most, we were getting calls and emails, and it really took a lot of our time and energy away from getting ready. But we finally did get ready. And, we were preparing Tuesday, and we were getting all these calls, and we were trying to pack up and everything like that. So then, so after that happened, I prepared for my mom. She's 92, and she lives in a level A, which means it's like a manufactured home, and they had the first mandatory evacuation, and those start coming out on Monday, actually. So I picked up my mom and I picked up all of her stuff and loaded up the car, and then we came to my house and I unloaded, her and all of her stuff. I made some chicken noodle soup, and then we watched videos of current news. Well, I had a call from my brother twice and my older brother, and he insisted that we go to my sister's house. So my son was in the mix. I had a niece. There was a family debate on where we should go. I have a very sturdy place, and all the neighbors were staying here. But finally, due to pressure, we ended up packing my car again with all my mom's stuff and then with all of my stuff, and getting all the valuables, getting all the food. The car was twice as packed. I had to get a blow-up bed. And so we ended up going to my sister's house, and we had a great dinner. I got some shrimp from my freezer that would have, spoiled or whatever. And my nephew's a great cook, and so he made shrimp scampi, and we had a really great dinner. We watched movies and the news intermittently, but mostly movies because the news was too blah, 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 hype, 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 and like we only need to hear so much of that. So then it was very windy and rainy. And then it got dark, and that's when about 8:30 in the evening, that's when the Hurricane Milton hit Siesta Key. Well, we were less than 10 minutes away from Siesta Key inland. We weren't that far inland from Siesta Key. So not very far at all where the eye hit. And that was around 8:30. So my nephew and I were looking out the window a lot, and I kept seeing these bright orange flashes of light. I'm like, orange? Lightning isn't usually orange.
Yeah.
What is orange? And of course I had, some ideas because it wasn't natural lightning. I know natural lightning when I see it. But there was bright orange flashes of light, and I kept trying to take pictures, but they would flash and go before I could, turn my camera on. Sometimes I left my camera on for a while, but they didn't come when it was on. But anyway, I definitely saw these big light up the whole sky flashes of bright orange light. And that was a really interesting.
Did you find out what it was? Have you come to any conclusions?
Well, no. I could only speculate. Also, based on past research I've done, and that's why, I understand what's been going on. I've researched this stuff for years. I used to be involved in Southern Oregon blue skies, where we showed a lot of videos, research information about geoengineering. We had Dane Wigington as a speaker. We showed a lot of the, popular movies, Look Up in the Sky, and a lot of things, and Southern Oregon blue skies. So we were very much on top of the research, and that was, let's see, that was about 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. And then subsequent to that, I was always into activism and education. And so then I was in a smart meters activist group. And so we understood the correlation between directed energy weapons and smart meters. The smart meters are used for grounding, and the directed energy weapons can be used to target different houses. And if you've ever seen all of the fires and the directed energy weapons that were used on houses and fires that were not natural fires, you can see that the houses with smart meters were the ones that were disintegrated to the ground. That's because it was not a natural fire, but they were directed energy weapon, and they used radio frequencies and scalar technology. And
Boy, they could take this apartment building down real easy. There's 4 smart meters underneath me, and there's a Gwen Tower not very far away at all. So that's really, but they're not in charge, and I don't know how this all happened, and I don't know if they were trying to direct it or what, but I do believe that the meditation and all the people working to had intention of lowering it and mitigating it made a big difference, regardless of how much they might have tried to direct it, because I think it started with Mother Nature, but I think even though they can even start it from scratch, I guess.
Well, our consciousness and our vibrational field is also electromagnetic energy. So we can raise our frequency and join together and affect the unified field of consciousness and the frequencies of the planet and the frequencies of the elements. And that's what we did with the group meditation, with the shared intention, even with individual intentions that were meditations, sharing those intentions. Intentions create a vortex. A vortex create a morphogenic field, and you're using consciousness to exponentially increase the power of that field. And so really it's just energy versus energy, and the higher vibrational and the more powerful energy is us, as cause. I mean, the God I am presence within knows itself as cause. We're not victims. And so a lot of light workers and starseeds and light warriors stepped up to the plate, joined in these meditations, used our willpower, our visioning, our intentions, and we joined together, and absolutely it did shift things. So it doesn't matter. We are the technology. I have a presentation that I created before saying we are the technology. So yes, this is technology, but we are also the technology, and the power of group consciousness and the unified field did have a miraculous effect. So, but here's the thing. In the Great Awakening, all of these things are coming to light. More people know about the weather warfare and the weather modification and the technologies now, especially since Hurricane Helene and North Carolina and all the surrounding states, than they did before. It's going out to the masses. And more people know now more about the child sex trafficking, the child kidnapping, and the interrelationship with the weather warfare now more than ever before. And so these things are directly linked. So
I agree.
What do you say about that before we move on?
They had one of those planes, I don't know which one, but chemtrailing, running the route. I don't know if it was before, after, or during the 2 hurricanes, because they were both right on top of each other. But they did have that. I forget the name of the plane, but it was spotted, and it is known that it was doing the fine. They're talking about rounding up the pilots now that are involved in doing such nefarious activities. You can't. Pilots are stupid enough to not know what's going on.
Well, some do and don't care, and some do and become whistleblowers. And we do have pictures of the canisters inside of airplanes and stuff from people that are the whistleblowers. Some of them are anonymous. But should we pause here for a minute and just take some of the comments from the viewers here? We have a few comments. You want to check those out?
Let me see. Where do we go? Budweiser had said that he had worked on reducing the storm damage for 3 days with his group. Awesome. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you. It worked.
Thank you.
And then he also mentioned that they were really pushing the fear, because they were. And it is easy to be fearful of something that you have no control over.
But we do, and that's what we realized. Some of us.
Well, as a group, though, it really helps us. I mean, that shows how powerful we are when we come together as and create that morphogenic field and so on that you're talking about. It really shows. That really shows power there tremendously.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it the other way. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then he said they push hard for the fear, and that's because they're.
Oh, what you just took away. I want to talk about that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. So
they need their loosh. Yeah.
Yes, Pudwhacker, because that's the fear factor. They're getting the loosh from the fear factor. And they really did give a lot of people anxiety and stress from that. Those that, buy into that, it's really sad. But those that recognize that they're pushing fear and that's exactly what was happening didn't buy into it, but some still buy into it. And unfortunately, it causes them a lot of stress and distress and anxiety.
Very much so.
And that's that they get loose that way.
Then he also mentioned that one of the guardians down in Central Florida was active with mitigation in mind also.
Yeah. And I think that we're working interdimensionally and intergalactically. We were just cooperating consciously, a lot with these solutions and coming more into our power and realizing that we do have control over the elements and we're not just victims. And so that's why so many people came together, with this. It was just amazing. I am just proud of everybody, all the light workers, light warriors, awakened beings, the divine intervention, praise God, the angels, the God within us. I mean, we are all one. We are all, fractals of the inner light, the spark of God, and working together in divine harmony at the highest level of vibration of love and light. And we're coming into our powers, and these kind of things gives us a chance to express those powers and use them and make them stronger.
And to see how they actually work. I mean, this is a prime example of it working.
Exactly. Which strengthens our power. And when we use the light in this positive way, we get more light. That's what many of those parables in the Bible were about.
And who knows, they could be very disappointed that it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to.
Well, God wins. They'll be disappointed ultimately in the end. Anyway.
Well, yeah, they're already disappointed. That's why they already know what's going on. That's why they, a lot of them are scrambling to do anything that they can to take it out on humanity. So keep going.
Let's see what comes up next. Because I think there were some things to talk about that came up in the news. I didn't grab it all, but, there were a lot of things. Okay, this is from the We the People News. It says, the Cabal's Biden-Harris administration was suspected to have created and controlled Hurricanes Helene and Milton using Pentagon weather weapons and had even more mega hurricanes brewing. Nadine is supposed to be next. One was forming alongside Milton, that's Nadine, as it rushed toward Florida. Another one was on its way to the UK and yet another toward Mexico. Two more were scheduled to hit Florida in the next 3 weeks. Florida.
Well, they hit Acapulco pretty bad too. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Florida residents were reporting a large amount of tornadoes hitting Florida areas, including 2 inside of Hurricane Milton. That's from those directed energy weapons. They had trucks. They have trucks on the ground with HARP arrays on them that can move. And then they have directed energy weapons from the sky. The phenomenon simply was not natural. Just like that orange stuff that I saw, that was not natural. The way they've been moving Helene and Milton, there were so many anomalies that were not like, all the other natural ones from the past. Everybody knows by now, not only were they not natural, but the congressional hearings, the patents, the demonstrations of all these technologies, they're already on record.
Well, and the other one that brought up some very interesting information about weather warfare too is Eric Hecker. He worked in the South Pole or Antarctica, wherever,
Right.
and was aware of what do they call it, neutrino machine, which has the capability of doing all of this geoengineering in a very stealth manner. And people don't have a clue.
He's right. Their home base for weather warfare is Antarctica. That's home base for weather warfare.
Yeah. Pudwacker just brought up too, the frequency weapons are used from the Gwen Towers. Yeah. Now there's one right not far from where I live, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And Sage was saying it was all geoengineered as well.
Yep. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Okay. During the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, the Cabal's FEMA lost a battle with the White Hats over a main satanic headquarters for human trafficking in the little town of Chandler, North Carolina, near Asheville. A major satanic leader, the High Horseman, and 41 of his cohorts were arrested. The White Hats had been chasing the High Horseman for over 30 years. He had changed his identity 18 times through facial surgeries.
Wow.
You mentioned that to me, that they got this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got quite the background. Again, been trying to get him for 30 years, really?
Well, facial surgeries and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose that would do the job. Anyway, okay.
So bodies of the many women and children floating in the water were said not to be from the community, but from a human trafficking underground tunnel that ran to Chandler. They wrote Candler, but it's Chandler, I believe, the #1 largest Wiccan community in the world.
Wow. Now look at this too. Insurance companies are refusing to pay for the storms because they are man-made.
Yeah.
A storm is a storm is a storm is a storm that you have to live through. So yeah. I'm sorry, that's not a legitimate excuse.
I didn't have time to do all the setup, but there's information actually going to come from another thing that I'll show in just a minute. But we're going to go one more. I think We the People. There we go. Oops, there we go. Okay. FEMA agents outnumbered the citizens of Asheville, turning the city into a battlefield. One local who lost everything in the storm recounted FEMA's refusal to help and their sinister response. We could have made a deal if you had something to trade. Because they were stealing jewelry and weapons and everything. That's their MO. This cruelty wasn't an isolated incident. Residents of Chimney Rock faced even more horrifying treatment. After the Broad River flooded the village, FEMA seized Chimney Rock under eminent domain, leaving residents with no choice but to evacuate or face death. FEMA agents threatened to shoot those who refused to leave, even pointing rifles at those with nowhere to go. One man, who barely survived the forced evacuation, described seeing neighbors gunned down. There are bodies everywhere, bullet holes in all of them, he said.
Oh my God. You know, that is actually FEMA's agenda, if you look into some secret documents. Go ahead.
Well, and it's their playbook, and they've been doing it in these.
They did it in Katrina.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They tried to suppress that information. They have been suppressing this information for years. As FEMA terrorized North Carolina, the White Hats finally responded after a call from Colonel Kurtz, a leader of the Red Hats. General Smith sent reinforcements. Red Hats had already lost 12 men trying to protect Chimney Rock's lithium deposits, fighting a pitched battle against FEMA and FBI forces. Now, more news, which I didn't get a chance to, capture or anything because we sort of put this together at the last minute. But the sheriff, the police, and the militia also joined up together and
Yes.
said, you know, no more of this stuff. You are not going to stop us from helping each other, and we're not going to put up with your shenanigans, you know.
Well, they actually were going out, and they had snipers as well. They were going to shoot the female people, and rightly so, because they're preventing people from saving lives and helping other people. So in other words, they're like a premeditated murderer. They know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you, let's see. I'm going to change the screen I'm sharing, okay? Let's see, share the screen to center tab, and this one. All right, let me just play a minute of this, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
This is really good, these few minutes of Jim Willie.
There is an ellipse in the United States.
It's not shared.
It's
You're not sharing, no.
Miles by 300 miles.
Stop it.
Okay.
Oh,
Share.
wait a minute. Yeah.
I had it on my screen.
Oh, okay. It wasn't showing over here, so put it up again. I'll get it this time.
Do you see that?
All right. Yeah, now I do. I couldn't see it. Okay, we're good now.
Okay.
I had to move my...
Conclusions and interpret things. I believe that we have now, whatever happened in Maui is happening now on a much larger scale. There is an ellipse in the United States in the southeast, and it's about 1,000 miles by 300 miles, and there's no electricity and there's no lights. And I believe in that zone we have the beginning of the Civil War. And it is my challenge, and I take it eagerly. I don't like this situation, but I take the challenge. Identify who the rogue elements are. And it's FEMA, it's the FBI, it's Homeland Security, it's Secret Service, and it's alcohol, tobacco, firearms, ATF.
So the federal agencies.
And the federal agencies, but those in particular, and in this storm zone, it's primarily FEMA, but they have a good deal of support, I believe, by ATF and Homeland Security. And you know, FBI has been interchanging their uniforms with FEMA for quite a while. So FEMA is the target,
Including
FEMA
Maui.
is the center, and I believe that we have something like 30,000 FEMA soldiers, officials. I'm going to call them officials, but you know, they're not exactly soldiers, but they're acting like soldiers because I believe they're shooting citizens. FEMA is now gone totally rogue, and they've been rogue for probably over a year. What happened in Maui is now happening in Appalachia, and I've got a warning. It's not, you know, a warning for adult content or anything like that. It's that Appalachia has thousands of hunters. They're hunters. They hunt deer. They hunt raccoons. They hunt rabbits. They're hunters. And now they're hunting FEMA. There's something
Good.
Northern Militia. I don't know if you
Good.
have heard that. Northern Militia.
No, I
in
haven't.
I have.
the western end of North Carolina. Western North Carolina. They're in the mountains, and they're snipers, and they're shooting FEMA officials. FEMA is now being fired upon.
I hadn't heard anything about this. Where did you hear about that? Where's this?
Well, it's different X accounts, boots on the ground. There are various websites, and let's just say that it's more than one or two sites, okay?
All right.
And it's boots on the ground. I've got a guy, he's a client, and he's in the northern part of the Appalachian area, And he said, Jim, I've got some really interesting information for you. They have now HARP devices on trucks.
There you
And
go.
they're able to move the truck. And with that, they can steer and attract the storm. And the key to this device on the truck, it's mobile truck mounted HARP. Okay.
So on like on the back of a pickup. That's
No,
kind of,
no. Think of it more like a semi.
Okay.
This is a big time equipment. It's not small. It's not 4 feet, not 4 feet in diameter. It's much bigger. But he said, here's the key. Here's the key. This truck mounted. Just think of the back of a semi truck, and they open the top. They are coordinating and calibrating their activity with nearby cell towers. So they might get 3 or 4 cell towers, triangularized, 3 or 4 cell towers, and they're in the middle, and that calibrates it, and then they're shooting the heat stream upward, and that attracts the storm. That's how they're doing it from below. And they're doing it from above with dew laser, and they actually said it on this particular website. I think it's military related. I got this. They're using dew and laser to fire into the storm center, and there's a lot of talk in Florida. Never seen so much lightning. Never seen so much.
Orange.
Now, I know from my own studies that hurricanes have lightning, but they don't have a preponderance of lightning. What they're doing is they're doing from above. They're sending in dew laser shots.
That's what I
at
saw.
1 trillion watts.
Now, are these, according to your sources,
1 trillion watts?
doing this?
Oh my God.
The rogue element.
Amazon hates this, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's a new electric lighter out
Oh, those commercials are just
there, and it's got the
horrible lately. Even on Rumble, it never used to be that bad.
and
I
they've
can't
sold
find
over
the
3
thing
million units in just
to
the past
change
30
it.
days. That's right. They're
It's
cutting
there
out the
now.
middleman.
I can see it. Skip ad. Uh-oh. You just froze.
I see that.
I know, and
I know. I see that.
I know, and
Check your internet. Oh, I went. Oh, it's okay. Okay, let me get back here.
I can turn it back on when it's okay. It's green again. I'll put it back on.
Okay.
inquiring with my military guy, do you think we're going to see white hat military take out HARP devices that are on ships or trucks or aircraft? And he said, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. They're not talking a lot. What they're doing is they're sharing the engineering. They're sharing the technology. This is really nasty stuff. Do you think now's a good time to show up the nighttime view of the eastern United States?
Sure, let me bring it up.
I got this a couple of days ago. There is a region in the United States, that's it. Now, let me explain what this is. The upper half is the United States like 10 days ago at night. And I believe that bright light in the center is Nashville. Okay? And you can see the Florida panhandle on the bottom. And you can see on the far right on the coast, I believe that's Jacksonville, Florida, the northern part of Florida. Okay, so that's what a normal United States East Coast looks like. Now, if you go down below, after Hurricane Helene, it's outlined in red, and it goes all the way down into Georgia toward the Florida border, because that's where it entered. This is a region, and it looks like it's at least 1,000 miles long, all the way up into Appalachia, and it looks like it's at least 250, 300 miles wide. I called it an ellipse, but it's not exactly an ellipse, but you know what I mean. There's no electricity in there. And these people are suffering. And I honestly believe that we're talking about well over 1 million people who are affected. So when you, now the other thing with respect to the boots on the ground, Patrick, and this is coming from like 3 or 4 different people, different sources, different Twitter X items. I call them items. I don't like calling them tweets. I hate that. X items. They're saying there are so many missing people that when you hear a death count, put 2 zeros on it. So they're saying that they're close to 300 dead people, 300 deaths. I believe it's closer to 30,000. Okay, we're talking about a lot of people who've been harmed. And right now they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have clean water, they don't have shelter. They've been blown to bits, and children are being missing. Children are going missing.
Figures.
Okay, so that's FEMA doing what FEMA does. This is really nasty situation.
So you see, okay, no, go ahead.
I think the U.S. Marines are now on the site. Okay, the North Carolina State Police have announced any FEMA official, soldier, or FEMA party. I don't know what to call them. I don't know what to call FEMA people.
Yeah,
I don't like calling them soldiers because they're not military. But the
foreign mercenaries.
Members. If any FEMA member gets in the way for relief efforts, which means people going in to help their own area, to enter in order to bring in food, enter to try to rescue somebody, enter to try to go into their own home and retrieve some belongings. If any FEMA official or member gets in the way, they're going to be arrested by the North Carolina police. And now you got North Carolina sheriffs. Okay, that's power at the ground level, at the county level. They're deputizing, and they're working with the militias. The North Carolina county sheriffs are deputizing to create militias, and they're fighting FEMA. This is really, really nasty. It's elevated. It has gone bloody. First blood, Rambo, first blood. Okay, we're past. So
you're saying there's actually kinetic fighting going on between the militias and FEMA right now?
Yes. They picked off. This is from other different X items. They picked off a number, and the Marines are in there, and I think they're knocking out FEMA in a very big way. There's a new.
Okay,
good.
So I'm going to stop sharing that for a minute. Let's see, stop share. There we go.
It's unbelievable what's going on. If people would look into history about how their governments have killed millions of people, there are still plans to kill many Americans.
Well, we're talking real time. We're talking, Katrina, they killed people. They kept that suppressed very much. They've done it in Maui. They tried to suppress that information. They're doing it in North Carolina, and it is getting out. But I just want to say one thing. I want to share this one little thing about the children. I just found out before. Let's see if I have it in this one right here. Yeah. Do you see this? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Yeah, okay, let me bring it up. Okay, got it.
Breaking 163, children who went missing in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene have been located. That's from the General at General MC News. So that was it. That's all I wanted to share. So we can go back and stop share with that. So the children have been found and rescued. I don't know the details. I just found out they've been shared. They've been rescued.
Well, that's refreshing. They still haven't found the Maui children, and I don't think they ever found any children at all. It was never even talked about when they did Paradise. And now Milton, I don't know.
Well, but, they're finding out more and more, and they're on their trail more and more because now they know their playbook. I mean, here's what happened just before North Carolina and all the hurricanes. I read on a news article saying that the P. Diddy stuff that's coming out they found a warehouse of, are we on Rumble or just, are we on YouTube or what are we on?
Yes, we are on YouTube too. So you just,
the liquid that they get from terrifying children, there was a warehouse full of that stuff, and they destroyed it. And so this is a war about that substance as well. You know what I mean?
right.
Children, the substance, it's all around that. It's all about the children. People are going to find out that all these things are connected.
Exactly. And it's a very ugly scenery.
It is, but it's also, you know, we have to get it, you know,
Well, you have to know about it before you can do something about it.
Exactly. So that's the weather warfare stuff. And so I think we should talk about the good things happening. And
that's important because we're moving into new earth, and there are things that are happening that we have to focus on that as the old guard falls over and flat on their face, as well as their minions. So that's in process. So let's look at the good side. What you got?
Here we got, as Hurricane Milton approached Florida today, a second hurricane appeared to the side, headed in the same direction. Multiple large tornadoes spotted inside Milton. Around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, Milton was suddenly downgraded to a 2. No reason given other than a miracle. And I heard that the eye collapsed. And I know, and you know, and we all know, it's resulting from the power of group conscious intention and visioning in the unified field. Our powers are coming on board. Isn't that great? I think we should.
I think it's absolutely awesome if people will recognize it for what it is, because it was like a miracle. And but it shows the power that we have when we unite as one and put that force forward. It means everything.
And before we go forward, we want to look at some of these. There's good comments here.
Okay, here's one about the quartz and the lithium for the batteries, and the quartz for the microchips, or all the technology. Yeah.
Kamala Harris's husband got was
big investor,
and they got they pulled the permits, and they got the permits for all.
Oh yeah, the permits were signed by Kamala.
Yeah.
So anyway, they think they're making progress, but they're really not.
Well, they're just being exposed.
They're being exposed, and they're being taken down. Of course, we don't always see it on places where the public would see it, which is the shame part. But anyway, let me see what this one is.
Yeah.
Pudwacker says, even if we are not fighters, we are spiritual beings with power, and we should use it. Stand in your power and act with your energy.
That's like the perfect way to put it. Good job. Say something similar too. I love these.
Yeah. And Alchemist Frequency Healer says, I was, and many others were, working on the storm to change the frequency of these storms. Yes, so was I. I didn't have a group, but I was certainly
And I want to say another really good thing about it, when we're looking at the good side, is think of all this stuff coming into the mass awareness, the weather modification and weather warfare, all the technology that's available that they've weaponized. We're going to get the unweaponized version of the technology that can be used for good. Number one, it's coming to light so we can stop it. Number two, we're finding the connection with the children and what they've been doing to our children. If we get awareness that we can stop it.
Wait till people find out what they actually been doing to our children. Most people still don't know. They're going to be horrified.
Yeah. And with that being said, can I unshare this and share the little Save Our Children thing I made just for you today?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Let me remove this one.
I share that, and let me see. And then I'm going to share something else.
Because it really is about the children, because that substance that they get, Then again, it runs this freaking world. I'm sorry to say, with the trafficking of them and others, and women and children in particular.
I got to make sure I have it up here.
Do you know what I read today? While you're looking for that,
Yeah.
I read today, and I don't know if it's true, so I'll have to look into it further. That Elon Musk bought Google.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said. What? I have to verify that. So that's just hearsay at this point. I did read it though, but so I'm wondering about it. If anybody out there knows anything about it, and you know more than what I just said.
Oh, I wonder if it's this. Nope, that's not it. It's weird because I have the tab right here.
You know what? I think I have Saving the Children.
Yeah, do you have that one?
Yes, I do. I can do it. I think I can do it.
Still with Eye of the Hurricane. Oh no, that's a different one. Sorry.
Thank you, Alchemist Frequency Healer. Really appreciate that. Oh, Pudwalker heard it too, what I was just talking about. Okay. So let me bring up this other video then.
Okay.
Saving, yeah.
Oh, now I have it.
You know what? We never even showed the pictures of the hurricane. But
Oh.
shall we do the Saving the Children first?
Okay, sure. Okay, and I have it now too. So
sorry if we're a little out of order, but
I got it.
Okay, did you want to share it or you want me to share it?
I have it. Did I share it?
No, I just shared it. I don't know if we both can share at the same time.
Okay, well.
Okay, let me make it bigger. And like this. And are you ready? I'm going to start it, okay?
I'm ready. Discovered the truth finder could be in danger, which we know I don't think
how
that happens. But I just want to mention. I have it from the beginning.
Wait a minute. Let me bring it to the very beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
There. I didn't realize it was there. Okay, here we go.
Hello, Star Family of Light. Welcome back to Smile Soul Power, where we are here to empower, enlighten, and encourage all those in our Star family and support each other. So I just wanted to do a quick little video because I know that the Great Awakening is in full effect right now. And some of the information is going out to the masses, where there have been in the past a smaller group of researchers researching, doing their due diligence, and going down different avenues of research and finding out information. And sometimes, when the truth is discovered, the truth finder could be in danger, which we know how that happens. But yeah. I just want to mention a little snippet of my journey, and I was reflecting on this today. So as I've been exploring and learning the truth about different things, the thing I wanted to address today is about the children. So in the beginning of learning the truth about the children, we start out with the finders, and you can do research on the finders and find out about how some children were discovered on a playground that were disheveled. And once it was looked into, it turns out the FBI and CIA had some hand in complicit in dealing with the children and covering up the truth. So please learn about the finders and do as much research as you can starting at that point. And then learn about these topics. Learn about CERCO, which started out as RCA. It's now a division of RCA. They handle a lot of projects, the SES, Senior Executive Services, and they've also funded FEMA. Okay, and so this is what's known often as the deep state and like the power elite. And these are the people that thought they had the power and could overcome the light and God. But of course, we know God wins. So the reason God wins and is winning now is because all of this is coming to light. And so from the finders, we move forward several decades, many decades, because that happened in the 70s. So we're about 40 to 50 years into this. And now we're learning about FEMA, who is also part of CERCO and connected to the Senior Executive Services. And so there's this network of basically evil people who did not only don't have the best interests of people at heart, but actually prey on children. So we know we've had many children missing, and we learn about the pedophiles. That's all coming out with the Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy information. That information is exploding and naming names. There is an information warfare going on. There's spiritual warfare going on. It has to do with the truth, and the truth is the nature of God, and God always wins. So we're researching the truth, we're broadcasting the truth, we're sharing the truth, we're learning the truth. And then we're also coming into our powers to overcome the darkness and the evil and bring it to light so that it can come up for healing. So we're in a healing space, but it's often, I know for me and for everyone I talk to, it's really hard on your heart when you find out that anything's been done to our precious children. I mean, I was just indescribably affected deeply at the soul level when I first found
It's
out
unbelievable
that people were abusing children, very young children. And so then, of course, more came out. The fact that there were Satanists with satanic ritual abuse, child sex trafficking, and then we get to the hunting and terrorizing and cannibalism. And so right now in these times with the P. Diddy information coming out, the information came out that there was a warehouse in Miami where some of this substance, coming from terrorized children that are used to make people young and get them high and so forth, was confiscated. Well, and then we had the North Carolina exposure of, that's when the weather modification and the true colors of FEMA finally came out. It's been going on for a long time. But now it's coming out to the masses, both the weather modification and the fact that they're involved with children going missing. So like in the night in North Carolina. So I'm just hitting some broad topic areas because, one, I want to give compassion for people who are just now finding out. Number two, I want to give extra encouragement and light for those who are ahead on the trail and are here to help others. We are here to overcome this. We are here to expose this. We are here to stop this. So the warfare that's going on, the weather warfare, the weather modification, the crimes against children and crimes against humanity, all of that is coming to light now. And this is why we're here. This is why we are the light warriors. This is why we are the StarSeeds. And this is why we are the light workers. We're bringing in the light. We're transmuting the light. We are discovering and revealing all the truth so that it can come up for healing, so that it can be stopped, so that children can be saved, and this can no longer continue. We are breaking cycles and cycles and cycles of abuse. And we are the light, shining our light. And we are in the arms of God and the angels, the ascended masters and the galactics. And we are working cooperatively and consciously to heal this planet and create heaven on earth. This is a dark situation and a dark thing to deal with, but just stay strong, be the light. If you're just now learning about these things, do your due diligence and research the topics that I mentioned. And for those of you that already know, be there, to help people understand and find out what has been happening in more detail. And so just, research the time period from the finders to FEMA. basically from the 70s to now, and what's been happening with and to our children. Too many have gone missing. Too many have been abused. And this will stop now. I mean it. It will stop now. And we're here to stop it. We are children of God. We are instruments of God. And God is working through us in cooperation with our guides, angels, archangels, galactics, light beings, and so forth. So step up to the plate. More power that you use for the light, the more light you gain, and the more activation and powerful we become. So we are powerful. Be encouraged. Chin up. Remember, God wins. We're all in this together. So I love you all. Thank you very much for coming to this message, and put your comments in the section below. Be sure to visit me at www.smile4love.com, and do check out the decrees and use your divine authority and shine your light. Thank you all very much for helping. God bless you. We're back. Are we back? Now we're back.
Now we're back. I just removed it. Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So I actually addressed a couple audiences, if you notice. The audience of people that are just now waking up, and just giving them the topics in order to research, and also addressing the light workers and light warriors that are here to help those people that are waking up, who can fill in details and help people understand what's been happening, who understand the whole historical people,
Michelle,
years and stuff.
Michelle, somebody's asking in the, I know that's not it. You don't say the number 4. Put your smile for love.
It's just 4. Just smile. You don't say the number. Number's not there.
Yeah. So it's yeah. I wondered if that might be interpreted that way. Okay, copy. Here, she giving me the correct link, so here it is. Hang on. I can put it up. There we go.
Yep. And so there's one last thing we can finish this off with. And I'm going to do the last slide here. I'm going to share, and so, oops, nope. That's the wrong thing.
That was a nice little presentation you gave there.
Thank you. Like I said, it addresses a couple audiences. For people that are just now starting to wake up, it was, just a really brief overview. Mm-hmm. And something, because people really need to, when they do their own research, they can put things together in their head and how they fit together. And just with research topics, you can start from there, because if you can't really get the whole ball of wax at once. There's too many pieces and parts and stuff like that. But then people who have been doing the research can, put those things together. And anyway, so, all right. So the last thing I'm going to do is I had this little thing that really fits together, and it's sort of a poem of encouragement called Holding the Vision for the Victory of the Light. And whenever you're ready, I will share that as a last thing.
All right. Yes. And then we can call it a wrap.
Yes, definitely. Okay.
There we go.
Is it sharing?
Not yet. There we go.
Okay.
By Michelle Marie Angel, dedicated to truth warriors and light workers. No more darkness or shadows or hateful scorn. Welcome the light that the morning has born. This is not just another new ordinary day. Heaven has arrived, and it's here to stay. As more and more light has swept through our minds, the seekers, the warriors, and all of like kind have raised Earth's vibrations and increased illumination, holding the vision for a new creation. The love for God in our hearts has expanded, bonds growing stronger as communication is candid. Pure honesty emanates truth that is known. Love is ever stronger, and kindness has grown. The exposure has been hard for our hearts to endure because the light uncovered crimes against children so pure. We've cried within the depths of our souls to see the pure hill of terror that evil can be. Our armies of truth and prayers to God have made the light of Christ to step into the shade. Our children have been rescued from tunnels underground. It's hard to fathom the level of corruption we found. No longer deceived by narratives supporting captured agencies, never again resting in apathetic complacency. We research the truth with intensive investigation. Lives have been saved by these truth revelations. Death has come to many who hit the truth target. Less and less buy into the lies that they market. The searchlight of truth exposes more and more crime. The fallen empire of evil has run out of time. The last scene to transition is about to unfold. It requires us to buckle up and be courageous and bold. With sovereignty, integrity, discernment, and might, we stand in solidarity to witness the victory of light. Thank you for never giving up. God bless you.
Can you unshare me?
There we go. Well, that was nice too. You know what? I was going to share the pictures from the storm, and we still didn't even do that. So let me. I only have it in my email. That was the only way I had enough time to be able to. But it's okay. That'll work. Let me just get there.
Yeah, there was some devastation. That's for sure.
Yeah. So here are. I had a couple of them more than once, but. I can put them up like this. Well, I guess it won't move forward, so I'll have to go to another one. There's one. This poor person.
Look at that.
Had their whole. I mean, that's like unbelievable.
The whole world, that room.
Exactly. Wow. What an experience that was. And here's another one. That one got tore apart a bit. Could be worse. Let me see what else I got. Here's this one here. Another one. Those, I tell you, I don't feel very safe in those manufactured homes when something like that happens.
Well, they're always the first to have to evacuate.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Wow, split that tree right down.
A lot of trees were split. There were so many down trees, and a lot of them came up right from the roots. Tons of trees down, which put wires down, which is why we were all out of power.
Wow.
Yeah, parking lots full, streets full. They got the roads cleaned up and the roads clear first thing, and then it took several days. And a lot of people are still without power.
Yeah, I heard that. I was surprised that you had your power back on already. That's pretty cool.
So was I, because I didn't have power after Hurricane Ian for like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was really surprised that you had it so quickly. That's awesome.
Oh, God bless those linemen and people that cleaned up the trees and got trees and everything out of the way. God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. They came in from all these different states. People came in from everywhere. I saw things like Boston, Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
The true hearts of real Americans and humanity coming forward to help, being in service to others, just the way we are supposed to be.
Well, sometimes, these disasters bring out the best in people. So there's people helping people, making nice comments, caring about people, neighbors saying, "Are you okay?" people praying, people calling to check from, different states and even different countries. So much care, compassion, concern, and prayers. I'm telling you, it unites us. And that level of unitedness never goes away. We are united in our hearts and in our souls. And we know it now more than ever. So looking at the good side all the time. We are united and we are strong and we are light and we are victorious. So, everybody plays their part, every single person, and just God bless everyone. God bless everyone. I am so grateful. I am just so grateful. Seriously.
And I want to share a picture, which I think is pretty fascinating. I sent them to you, and I have to ask if anybody, the light is fascinating to me. I hang on.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's just amazing. This is at Oak Creek.
Those are so cool.
Is that amazing? Now, what would make that beam like that? That's just amazing. And these are not Photoshop, not even close. I wouldn't even know how to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing. I've seen a number of them like that.
That's divine light.
I think so too. I think so too. And that other picture, I don't even know how far down that one is, but there's another one that's even better, but I'll save that for now. It is divine light. That was my feeling, and I'm happy to hear you say that. And it has shown right on me a couple of times, which is so cool. So anyway, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think the light and showing that light is a great way to wrap it up. I love the light. We are the light. We are the powerful light, and we are victorious. And
I am, yeah.
For your comments and participation.
You know what it reminds me of? The saying that Tesla did. I am a radiant being of light, perfectly aligned with the infinite source of the universe, vibrating love, peace, and harmony. Mm-hmm. So stay in the light, shine your light from the heart out, and spread it around the whole world. So picture me like an angel photobombed you. That's funny, Budwhacker. Thank you. I have some other ones on. Check out my Facebook page because they don't they shadow ban me, so you don't see some of the things that I post. So if you go directly to the page, you can see everything. I got some good memes on there too. So anyway, thank you everyone. Once again, stay in the light. Thank you, Michelle, for your wonderful contribution to the show and for surviving that hurricane.
Yay! I'm a little worn out. I'm going to rest a lot tonight.
All right. Well, you deserve plenty of rest because I'm sure that was intense, to say the least.
Oh, man. I am still recovering. It really wore me out.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Love you.
Love you all.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show